Hi, my name is Kase Johnstun, and my forthcoming novel, Let the Wild Grasses Grow, is coming out in fall 2021 with TERESA Press. This book is a reimagining of my grandparents' lives, my grandma Chavez and my grandpa Cordova, during the early 1900s to mid 1900s. Growing up, I spent a huge part of my life just at their home. Eating beans and tortillas, stirring my grandpa's homemade beer illegally in the basement, and just being with them. I spent so much time there. In my grandpa's garage where he tinkered with his cars and his tools, and in my grandma's kitchen where she cooked and laughed, and where she spent hours and hours just sitting and talking with me, her youngest grandson. And I was working on an essay about my grandpa picking chilies and skinning chilies in his garden when I just started to wonder what was his life like 100 years ago in southern Colorado, growing up as a Mexican American in this part of the country. And so I put my grandparents on the page as my protagonists and threw them into the Dust Bowl and threw them into the Great Depression, threw them into World War II, and tried to imagine what my grandparents, how they would live through this, and how they, if their lives took different paths. My grandpa's story, John's story in the book is really similar to my grandpa's life. His loss of his parents when he was young, his enlistment in the military. Della's story is plot-wise, at least, is quite a bit different than my grandma's life. It's very much reimagined, and the reason is because my grandma Della didn't have a really easy life. She, left school in 6th grade, got married very young, had kids very young, first heart attack at 42 years old. My grandpa wasn't always easy to live with, and she died of dementia in her early 70s, and I chronicle all this in my nonfiction. My nonfiction delves so deeply into my relationship with my grandma Cordova and my grandpa Cordova. But my grandma was brilliant, but she never believed it. And I wanted in my fiction to see her brilliance if she had more opportunity in life, more hope, better health, schooling, education. And I wanted to see if she, where her wit and brains could have taken her with those opportunities in life. And so that's where my grandma came out in the book. And though her story is different in the book, her voice and personality are there. I mean, in the book, she's sassy, foul-mouthed, witty, just like her mother, Benita, and these two women in the book are reincarnations of my grandma. And so with my debut novel, it just only makes sense that it comes from the same place my nonfiction comes from two people who I love so dearly, who gave so much to me. And so I hope you enjoy my reimagining of my grandparents' lives in Let the Wild Grasses Grow.